Yo, what's up, what's up? My name is Asia One. I'm representing Noisy Props and Mighty Zulu Kings and Queens. I've been throwing jams since around 92. I'm known for the Bboy Summit, which is probably the largest thing that I do. I started doing that one in 94. Wait, 95. 95, first year. Don't get that one wrong, right? The reason I started Bboy Summit is because we really didn't have anywhere to break. It was a funky time period in hip hop where the beats and the music were starting to get a little slower, and people were starting to kind of play the walls and play the background a little. But at the same time, the freestyle dance movement was building momentum. And oddly enough, we were not really accepted by the freestyle dancers. They was like, "Are you still on that 82-ish?" And we'd be like, "What are you talking about? This is a cultural dance form." So I really started doing the event because we needed a place to get together, to convene, to showcase our skills, to spread knowledge, and to bring some of the legends of this dance to educate and to be part of what we were doing. When people ask me maybe what are the 5 most important things, number one, follow through on what you say you're going to do, okay? Make your concept doable and not your schedule too jam-packed where it's going to be hellacious for you to try to get it accomplished. Keep to your schedule, and the music is paramount. So the music, you set the mood, the people bring the vibe. So your job is to really set the mood and do the best job you can, because when you're a promoter, you're just serving the people. Times change, and what people want changes. When I started doing the summit, organized battles it wasn't a concept. People really weren't doing organized battles. It was sort of at a point where people just needed to get together more to have a reason to break, because without events, you really don't have a reason. You don't have anywhere to go do it, The events keep the community together. It actually creates a community. So the role of events is very important. At the same time, attendance, it can get funky if you don't have some type of battle. But I try to make the battle an organic part of the event, not the feature. And I don't want people to come just because of the battle. And I don't want people to come just because they're really trying to win some money. I understand, a lot of us do this for a living. But at the same time, I want people to come because they want to be part of something. Because this is a movement. Hip-hop is a movement. If you're not actively participating in it, you're really not hip-hop. If you're a first-time promoter, I really suggest that you focus on keeping a smaller, tighter event, because what you really want to do is you have to earn your community's respect. So you need to keep it tight again, and try to create the best mood and vibe that you can. I would involve local sponsors rather than try to get international or larger sponsors, because the local community can benefit from branding with this community, and understanding the importance of the business angle of creating a nice one sheet that describes your event. Understanding that it's about exposure to sponsors, so you want to show them that this amount of people is estimated to come. This is the breakdown of men or women, little things like that, and involve local sponsors, definitely. When you set up your framework for your event, it's first thing you want to do is make your plan, decide what you want to have happen or what you think the community is going to embrace, right? And then get your judges and your hosts that sort of mirror that. You don't want a judge or a host that's not familiar with your concept that you're doing, or else on the other spectrum, like an opposite, their kind of mission is something opposite. So you want them to be an organic part of your event. Most people, if they've been doing this for a while, we have like a basic talent rider, that we give to a promoter. Obviously, if you know the person, you're probably going to get a way different rate. If you're a nonprofit organization, you can also usually get a different rate for a person because they want to benefit the community, and ideally, you want to phrase it in a way where you have 2 choices. You can say, this is our budget, this is what we can give you, or you can ask them directly what they would charge. I usually I usually say this is what I can give you, you know, and then you just get it off the bat, because if you ask them how much they charge, you know, it might be way over what you want, and it might dead the whole thing right there. Usually people are pretty flexible. They want to be part of stuff. I would say the most challenging thing is to keep to your game plan, to set something and actually follow through, you know, and achieve it in a timely fashion. And at the same time, I would say understanding that there's three elements. There's your pre-production, there's your actual production, and then there's your post. And you can't drop the ball in any part, because a lot of times after the jam, you're like, oh, that was great, or it was horrible, however you feel about it. You're like, I'm done. You're not done until everybody's gone home, until you've put your wrap-up one sheet together and issued it to the public. You're really not done. And that's where a lot of people drop the ball, and it can get really expensive, because if you don't get your talent, you know, if you don't have your production team tied and they don't get people to the airport on time, then you got to rebook people's flights, and wow, you know, if you've made anything at all, you're going to have to, you know, repurpose it to that. So it's definitely having a strong team. You know, you can't do it by yourself. You need a team, and you need to respect your team, and you need to have, your team doesn't even have to be part of necessarily the scene. You know what I mean? Some of the most successful summits I've had, I've utilized, like in '99 when I did it at UCLA. It was so tightly run and well run, because I did it with the UCLA, you know, student staff, and they knew what was up, and it was great, man. It reduced all my headaches. I think what a lot of promoters forget is that you can make your schedule, right? But if you don't get your talent in, your hosts, your judges, your competitors in, your DJs, and ready to go, you can't have your schedule. You know what I mean? You can't start your competition until the competitors are there. And so you have to give everybody, like, you got to tell them, look, I need you here an hour before, and I need you, this is like, you know, you're going to wait in the green room or whatever. Like, you really almost have to do that in order to have a very tightly run production, if it's something that's big. If it's not that big and you can keep it loose, that's cool too. It just depends on your type of production. This is Asia One, representing No Easy Props, the Bboy Summit, and Mighty Zulu Kings and Queens International.